Hi, today we're going to talk about how to choose a cigar. But first, let me give you a brief history on tobacco. In the late 1400s, 1492 more precisely, Columbus sails the ocean and discovers tobacco in Cuba. In 1600, the construction of cigars as we know it today was created in Spain. In the 1800s, Cuban cigar industries began. In the 1920s, cigar consumption was on the decline worldwide due to World War I and the Industrial Revolution. In the 1950s and 1960s, it was marked by the Cuban Revolution of Fidel Castro, which forces Cuban cigar makers to move out of Cuba and out to other countries like Nicaragua. Due to this revolution, the U.S. puts an embargo on Cuban products. In the 1990s, it was a cigar boom worldwide, and more specifically in the US. In the 2000s until today, during the making of this video, the Cuban embargo has been lifted, but acquiring Cuban cigars in the US and worldwide is still a challenge. Now, how to choose a cigar. Never be scared when getting to choose a cigar for the first time. Entering a cigar store can be quite challenging and overwhelming. There are just a few do's and don'ts that needs to be taken into consideration. The spectrum of taste and the strength of a cigar should not be determined by the cigar seller, but should be left to be discovered by the smoker. The first thing I do when guiding a novice is to make him or her understand that it is not a race. Cigars are meant to be enjoyed. There is a relaxed slowness to it. Over-puffing a cigar can cause overheating, bitterness, and eventually less flavor, which in turn can cause an immediate rejection to cigars for the first-time smokers. So when choosing a cigar, you need to see this as a long, slow, and sensual act of love-making. You need to consider the amount of time that you have to spare. You wouldn't choose a cigar that would last you 3 hours to smoke when you only have 30 minutes. The next thing that needs to be considered is the time at which you will be smoking this cigar. You wouldn't want to smoke a strong cigar during your lunch break, knowing that you have to get back to work right after. The strength of a cigar should be determined in parallel to the consistency of the food you just had. You wouldn't want to smoke a cigar on an empty stomach, or smoke a strong cigar when you just had a mango or a cup of tea for breakfast. The shape of a cigar you consider would give you several benefits, but more specifically on the amount of smoke you draw, and more importantly on the strength of the cigar. In terms of cigar strength, I always suggest a novice cigar smoker to start with what I call entry-line cigars. In this, I would guide you to a few in the Jose La Piedra, Hoyo de Monterrey, Montecristo, and Partagas lines, just to name a few. From there on, when your palate is able to assimilate and understand what it is supposed to be looking for, then I would be suggesting slightly stronger cigars. Mind you, all tobaccos are not the same, and blends will vary from maker to maker, hence different tastes and strength all around. I would suggest a novice cigar smoker to see every cigar smoked as an opportunity to write a love or hate story. So this is pretty much it. Not many do's and don'ts. Always take your time with a cigar, and remember, cigar smoking is not a race, but an act of love making and enjoyment.